Men understand that with discipline you can win at life, but that logic stops at sexuality. No man wants to face the reality that sexual discipline is a man's hardest battle. If won, you become unbeatable. This wisdom you learn in your late 30s and 40s. By then, it's too late. Watch this and apply it now. 1. We're not weaker than women. Our sexual urges are just stronger. Men have stronger sexual urges than women. This is why you become unbeatable in life when you learn how to control this. You become stronger. This specific study found that men's self-control is actually equal to women's. The difference is that our sexual urges are stronger. So we have to be stronger than they are to fight them. In order to measure just how strong the sexual impulse is in men, researchers gathered 600 college students. Participants were placed into a partner selection game where they were briefly shown pictures of the opposite sex. These pictures were then tagged either good for you or bad for you. Participants were then asked to either accept or reject the potential partner that was shown to them based on the tag that was computer generated beneath them. Men experience a much stronger sexual impulse to accept an attractive partner even when they were tagged and told that they were bad for you and you had to reject them. And to follow up on this, there was a meta-analysis of over 211 studies, 621,000 participants. It got to the same conclusion. Men have stronger sexual urges than women and also masturbate more than women. Cool. Now you know the root cause and just how strong the sexual urges are for men. But this won't help you solve it. It's not enough. That's where tips 2 to 5 come in, where I structured them in order that you should do to finally defeat sexual lust and truly become unbeatable. 2. Use the try not to laugh challenge to control your emotions. Sexual urges are like any other emotion of anger, sadness, happiness. If you don't learn how to control your emotions, you won't be able to control your sexual urges. So I'm going to show you how you can train yourself to desensitize yourself from emotions with a try not to laugh challenge that was done in a study. They found in this study that those that could control other emotions like laughter when shown comedy clips were more likely to control their sexual urges. Interestingly enough, those that couldn't control other emotions and then were told to control their sexual urges exhibited an even higher sexual desire. So, in the study, it was simple. Participants were shown a series of erotic clips and comedy clips. They were then asked to watch the clips and control their responses. Those men that could watch a comedy clip and control themselves to not laugh were also the men that could watch the erotic clips and not get an erection. 3. Stop masturbation to become more honest. The more you masturbate against your will, the less self-control you have, which leads you to be dishonest. Now, to stop, don't just make it a goal to stop touching yourself. I'm gonna actually show you how to set up a trigger system that is 10 times more effective at doing so. And think about it. Men lie to themselves all the time behind closed doors, telling themselves that they're gonna quit, but don't. Of course, they're gonna lie to other people. And don't get confused. All that masturbation doesn't have to do with your high test levels. The study actually found that the more you masturbate, the higher your sexual urges become. So you cut down the sexual urges that gives you the sexual discipline you're looking for. On top of that, it makes you a more honest man, which increases your perceived facial attractiveness. According to this study, low self-control is associated with dishonesty. So, how do you stop the masturbating? You need to cut the source trigger with the if-then model. Don't just say, I'm gonna stop masturbating. This is why you quit every time. Be specific. You should say something like, if you see a TikTok of a beautiful girl, then you're going to get off your phone immediately because you know that'll trigger you into going on Pornhub. The more accurate you are with your steps, the higher the chances you are of quitting. 4, you'll go from chasing women to being persistent with women. Chasing women is almost a waste of time and almost never yields positive results. What you want is to be persistent with women. And don't get confused. Chasing versus persistence is not the same thing. We know that the men with the highest propensity of not being able to self-control themselves are the ones that have high testosterone and low self-control. See, one of those pushes girls away, low self-control, but one of those pulls girls in, a high testosterone determined man. Chasing women refers to men that pursue someone who is not interested or not available. It often leads to negative emotions like anger, confusion, and desperation. Persistence, on the other hand, involves mutual interest and is less emotional. So your goal is to get her to want you back so the interest is mutual and then be persistent. You need to start by attacking one of the most powerful regions in a woman's brain, the olfactory bulb. This is the area that's responsible with emotion and memory. Best way to leave your imprint is with a good fragrance, but it has to be unique and memorable. I'm gonna give you an example of one that I know you've never heard of. It's called Search by Amouage. It's not your common Dior Sauvage. Instead, it's a vibrant fragrance with notes of lime and mandarin, and it's also quite expensive. You can pick up a bottle for around $350. However, However, I didn't pay that much. Don't think I did. I actually got it through my Scentbird monthly subscription, which I pay under $17 for a month. You see, this is powerful because women have 50% more olfactory neurons than men do, making them highly sensitive to this technique. And buying high-end, expensive fragrances sets you apart because you know most men can't afford them. Now you can go from being needy and chasing and following up with her to being persistently in her head, triggering that olfactory bulb. You just became unforgettable to her. Here's another fragrance I know you've never heard of, El Sireno by House of Beau. Again, it's about a $400 fragrance. They call it a hypnotizing love potion, and that should tell you enough. This one I also got as part of my Scentbird subscription, which again, this is why I love it, because you get fragrances like these at a steal. A specific scent will trigger an emotion and a mood just for you in her head. That triggering is positive. It's something she will not forget. She is now interested in you as much as you are in her. Now you can be persistent. Look, you do not have to spend hundreds of dollars on unique high-end fragrances. You can check out Scentbird by clicking the link down below and then using code JOSETMF, and that'll get you 55% off your first month's order, which is an absolute steal. 5, desensitize yourself from women to get the woman you want. Most men are so distracted by all the sexual content that they see that upon seeing a woman, they already start rating her on attractiveness, how hot she is, etc. You can stand out from all those men by just having the sexual discipline to eradicate all sexual thought when you first see a woman. And when you get to this level of sexual discipline, you increase the sexual desire that she will have for you. Just think about this, that on dating sites, 80% of women match with the top 20% of men. This is called the Pareto principle, or the law of the vital few. You as a man need something to set you apart from the bottom 80% and enter the top 20% every woman is looking for. The easiest way to stand at the top 20% is to be disciplined and focused. This now allows you to think clearly and set standards for the partner that you want to meet, not just the first girl that would sleep with you. And to do this, the best trick you can do, instead of treating her like a sexual object, treat her like a human. As a matter of fact, think of her like your sister. That level of coolness and control is desirable. You now understand how strong sexual urges are for men, and I've showed you how to defeat them by controlling your emotions, cutting back on masturbation, being persistent and not desperate with women, and becoming a focused man. You've essentially won in life, but now I know that most will leave here and not put this advice into practice if I don't show you what you're missing out on. And that's what these last 2 tips will show you. Number 6, avoid triggering the what the hell effect. Social media, dating apps, TV, movies, music videos, all can be sexual triggers that get you into that spot. By the time you think about going on Pornhub, it's already too late. Those sexual urges are too strong. You've lost the battle. This is called the what the hell effect. It's a cycle that you feel when you indulge in something that you know is bad. You regret what you've done, but then you go back for more. Your brain will rationalize it by telling you already blew your goal of not going on Pornhub, so what the hell? Go on again. It's a vicious cycle that when you give in, you feel bad about yourself and what you've done and the lack of self-control. This motivates you to look for something that makes you feel better. And what's the cheapest and fastest and easiest way to feel better? To go back to where it all started. Remember the if-then method we just talked about. You need to make a list of all your triggers and then be specific at how you stop it, right? Remember, if you see a baddie on TikTok, then you'll quickly get off your phone. If you hear sexual music playing, then you will immediately switch to an audiobook. Win those small battles of destroying the triggers and you'll beat the vicious cycle. Number 7, you can unlock unlimited motivation by keeping your prolactin. When you control those sexual impulses, you reduce that feeling of shame and guilt. Every single time you ejaculate, you release prolactin, which has been linked to sexual satisfaction. When this happens, you remove all motivation to pursue anything because you're already satisfied. When you get to this point of the video and you've fully developed sexual discipline, you will keep all your prolactin, which will unlock unlimited loads of motivation that you can now redirect to a different passion. Before, your burning passion was women and lust. Now, that burning passion could be creating content, going to school, starting a business, and now you have the motivation to do so. That's it for me today. I'm gonna leave you 2 more videos so you can continue to level up. See you guys next time.